access all of your applications in one screen, the Windows Start screen. You'll be able to access Microsoft apps such as News and Weather, software programs and applications you might have installed such as Word and Excel, and systems tools which are already installed on your PC. Let's take a look. Now, accessing your applications is an area that's been improved greatly between Windows 8.0 and 8.1 or 8.1 with the update. So it's an area where it used to be harder to find things than it needed to be. Microsoft had always intended that the Windows search functionality would be the primary way that you find applications instead of going through a menu or a hierarchy of folders. But it wasn't quite as seamless in Windows 8 as it could have been, and it is now in Windows 8.1. So this is a default Windows Start screen. This is a brand new installation of Windows 8.1 with the latest updates, just as it came off the disk or the ISO. Now, most of the time to get to an application, all you have to do is start typing the name of the application. So, for example, if I start to type Notepad, there it is, it appears. Now, I can refine my searching. I can look just at files or just at settings, but most of the time, the Everywhere setting, which is on by default, works pretty well. In Windows 8, the earlier version, you had to differentiate between files and programs and apps and settings. Now it's just all in one place, so that's a little bit easier to find. Now, if you prefer a more visual approach, you want to see what's installed on your computer, all you have to do from the Start screen is to swipe up. And here's all the applications that are installed in our computer. And we can list them by name, by the date they've been installed, the most recent, by how often they're used, or by category, such as health and fitness, productivity, tools. Now, there is one little gotcha about this that I don't know why they've decided to do it this way, but you look at this and you think, oh, this is everything. There's my A to S. Maybe I don't have a lot more. But if we swipe or scroll over, we'll see the rest of the S's, the W's, and then we'll see a bunch more. These ones are actually listed by the publisher, Dolby, TechSmith, Windows Accessories, and things like that. This machine happens to be made by Lenovo, so there's a Lenovo section. Now, what's the difference between these and these? These are Windows Store apps, or as they used to be called, Metro applications, the full-screen modern UI approach that Microsoft is promoting in Windows 8. So you may need to swipe over to see the rest of them. And remember that even though we're saying they're listed by names, they're being listed by name of the publisher. So it's often much easier to simply go into the search bar and type what it is you're looking to find. This little arrow at the bottom will take us back up if we're using the mouse, or we can just swipe that direction. Now, if you don't have a touchscreen and you are just using the mouse and keyboard, as soon as you move the mouse, this arrow right here will appear, and that does the same thing. When you click on it, you can drop that down and see what you have available. And click on it to go back up. Now, here is our, as I mentioned, our default Start screen, and we can customize things a little bit here. Notepad does not appear on this first icon-based or tile-based Start screen. So I can go in and I can type Notepad and I can find it, and then I can right-click on it. And there's some options here that I have, including Pin to Start. If I select Pin to Start, and then I dismiss the search bar, I'll now see that Notepad has been included on my Start screen, and I can actually just launch it from there. If I hold it for a moment, I can do things like resize the icon or the tile, or I can run it as an administrator, open it in open a new window for it if it's already running already, or I can unpin it from the Start menu. But I want to also show you that as well as pinning it to the Start menu, we can also pin it to the taskbar. Now the taskbar, well, it doesn't look like much happened there. My Start screen hasn't changed at all. That's because there's a special tile over here for the desktop. And if I tap or click on that, that takes me into the desktop where I have the traditional taskbar that you're probably familiar with from Windows 7 or earlier versions. And here is my Notepad that I have pinned to the taskbar as well as to the Start screen. While speaking of the traditional Windows desktop, or the desktop as represented in Windows 8.1, in 8.1 they've added this Start icon here. Now it does not give you the full Start menu that you may be used to from Windows 7, but it does give you a way to get back more quickly and easily into the Start screen. From the desktop, you've always been able, a Windows laptop will have a dedicated Windows button if it's a touch screen, and that's always been a way to get back. And if you don't have that, tapping the Windows key on the keyboard would always take you back. But in respecting user wishes and a number of different easy ways to get around the new interfaces, they've also included this icon right here. Now, the other advantage of this icon is you can actually right-click on it as well, which gives you this mini menu, which is not the full Windows 7 menu. We are moving into a different type of UI, but it certainly gives you access to a number of things more easily without going back to the Start menu and searching for them. But I encourage you to spend some time getting to know the Start menu and setting it up the way you want. For example, I never use the Mail app, just personal preference, so I'm going to unpin it. On the other hand, I spend a lot of time in my desktop, so I'm going to say I want to have a large icon for my desktop, and I'm going to arrange it and drag it over here so it's on the top left. And if my notepad, no, my notepad's not currently pinned, so I can go ahead and pin that, and then I can take it and I can drag it over here. I'll put it in this little spot right there. Looks kind of tiny. And I'm going to say I want to have that be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to bump it up to the medium size. And there we go. Now I've started to customize my start screen. Get rid of the things you don't use because they're not gone forever. You can always find them again on the all apps list. But set it up the way you want so you can get to the things that you need most quickly.